on the phone, and literally this conversation came up, like, what should I talk about? And I'm like, I don't know, I have so much, I don't know what to talk about. And so what we came up with is the technology and the evolution of consciousness, because that's really, really what I love, is where are we going as a community and as a world in our consciousness and in our evolution. And so I love that, Meredith, right? That's her name? Yeah, I love that you pop back 10 years, because I actually want to pop back 100 years. So right now it's 2016 at the moment. We all know what's going on right now, because we live here. But if we dive back 100 years, it feels like a lot has changed since 1916. I don't think anyone here was alive then. Maybe you had parents who did. I know I had a grandparent who did. It's been a little while. So I did some research for you guys on what exactly was happening so that I could say it and sound really smart. So in 1916, what was actually happening? So the main form of transportation was the Model T. That car was still there. The main form of entertainment was vaudeville, was still really big. One of the top 10 songs in 1916 was a Star Spangled Banner that was played by the orchestra, and that was on the radio. So top 10 songs of the year. What else? And the main form of communication was newspapers and radio. That was the main way you got to learn things. So if you look back, a lot has changed, right? 2016 is a lot different than then. So we have, our entertainment is endless. How much entertainment do we have out there, all the time, always this new entertainment in our face. We have our cars. We have self-driving cars, which I'm going to talk more about. We have self-driving cars in 2016 on the road. They're not the most common thing, but those are out there. And we also have the internet. That's how we communicate. If you want to send a message halfway around the world, all you have to do is pull out your phone, and 30 seconds later, it can be on the other side of the planet. Right? The way that we've evolved technology-wise is unreal in the last 100 years. And when we look at evolution of consciousness, where were we consciousness-wise 100 years ago at that same time? So in 1916, and I pulled some stats, and these are actually 1910, so a little off, but still early 1910. Things that were still alive in 1916, the only people who were allowed to vote in the United States of America were white men. Only people who were allowed to vote. Women were not considered humans. Black people definitely were not. In fact, they were still being lynched down in the South. That was normal. So just hearing that alone, we still have our issues today. We're not perfect, but a lot has changed in a very, very short amount of time. So we look back 100 years and think, whoa, it's changed that much. And what's really crazy is how much changed in that 100 years. It seems like so much. And before that, that was the amount of, it took 1,000 years to make that much change before that time. And now it's 100 years. And now we're in a phase where that much growth is expected to happen in the next 10 years. So if you can breathe that in, on 10 years from now, having as much change as there is today as there was 100 years ago, that's where we're going to be. That's where we're going to be. And the really amazing thing this is what I'm going to talk about, is how our technology and consciousness, they're correlated. If you look at it, I just explain how they've gone together, and they're changing. So how is technology changing? So if we look at the workforce back in 1916, so the main the work week was 50 to 60 hours. They didn't have atomic clocks. Most of the time was by sunrise and sunset. You were considered a worker, and that was what you did. And so these are the stats I pulled. 1910, actually, I'm sorry. So in 1910, 70% of workers were in the farm and labor workers, so in fields or in the factories building things. 70% of our workers. So left 21% in professionals, so accountants and what are those? Not coaches. That's what I'm used to here. Lawyers. That's what I'm trying to say. Lawyers, all of these jobs and running businesses, so sales. 21% of people were there. We've gotten to this point now. So much has changed that we've gone from 70% of our workers pulling things together to now 21%. Less than 1% of our workers are in the farms. Our farms are automated. Technology has automated everything. We've gotten to the point where our hands no longer need to create things because there are machines creating it all for us. And even if it's not the physical labor, we've now gone to the mind. So the next thing we moved to was the professional, which was 21%, which is now 63%. Most of the people you know now are most commonly running businesses. That's most common, right? That was a big deal back in 1916 to be able to run those, to be able to have access to those things. So right now we're in a place where that's just common. So what happens when you have that much change over 100 years, and we're having that much change over 10 years? We've gone from labor workers to mind workers and running behind a computer. What's left for certain is the service industry. It's actually the only thing that's left, which you would think has changed a lot too. That's what I expected it to change that much in 100 years, but it really hasn't. In 1910, it was 10% of workers were service workers, and today it's still only 17% of our industry are service workers. So what happens when everything goes from the mind and is automated, from the hands to the mind? It's left in the heart. It's left in service. So our service industry has this opportunity to grow. So where are we going in 10 years? This is what I love. I'm such a nerd. I hope you all are too. Is anyone else like super nerd? Yes. Oh my gosh, I have some friends. Cool. Okay. So one thing I really love. How many people here own a car? Almost everyone. So I'm gonna guess that 10 years from now, maybe 1 or 2 people in this room will own a car. No one else will. So why? Why will we own cars? That's all we know. So 10 years from now, and it's possibly up to 5 to 10 years from now, especially since we live in a more populated city. 10 years from now, when you need to go somewhere, all you're going to do is pull out your phone, type in where you need to go, and an automated self-driving car is going to come pick you up. You get in that car, and it takes you from either across the street or across the country, wherever you want to go. And you're done. So if you think about when you bought a car, and when you own a car, what are all the industries that are involved with it? First, you have to buy the car, and then you have to register it, and then there's this gas, and the maintenance, and the tires, I don't even know, all the things, insurance, right? And then also the number of deaths that come from driving on the road. So if you can imagine, when we get to the point where that actually doesn't exist, look at all those industries that are now going to be gone. Car insurance, gone. The number of people dying will be extremely less. It'll be like 1 in a million people with self-driving cars are driving us versus the human error that's happening right now. So if you can imagine all those going. So those are currently those jobs, and what I was describing is that running the business, but they're gone. So now what happens? We're left in this place where it's like, what is the difference? So if we have machines that are running us and taking us places and running our whole world, how does that leave us? And we're just in this like kind of bizarre place, and people are really scared of it. Like it's how are we supposed to function in this world? How are we supposed to still be humans? And the fact is, computers are never going to replace consciousness and the heart and our ability to be humans and emote, because a computer's never going to emote, even though it might be really good at telling what you might be feeling. It's never going to be able to do that for you. So it's a really powerful place, and there's a lot of stuff that's coming up to change, and coming up for us to embrace. So what I want to leave you with is like, just really mind blow where we're going. It's really cool. And just where can you embrace technology? Because the reality is it's not. There's no way you can avoid it. If you're sitting here thinking like, I don't really like technology, like my phone's enough, I don't want to do anything else with it, like, yeah, your grandma might have thought that too, but she's still resisting having a cell phone, which is a little behind the times, right? So if you can imagine how much faster things are going, the best thing you can do is really embrace it, because when things come, when change happens, you can either resist or you can just let it come in, and you can take advantage of it. So I really wanted to throw this in there somewhere. Has everyone heard about this Pokemon Go thing? Yeah. Who has no idea what it is and really confused? Yeah, okay. So this is the kind of thing that's possible, and what else is happening in the world, and where all you can embrace things. And I personally haven't used it, so it's not like you're bad for not trying it, because I haven't tried it either, but it's really, really cool. So you know when you pull out your phone, you go to take a picture, and you look, and it's like, oh, you can see what you're pointing at is in the camera, right? That's how it works. So what Pokemon Go is, it's AR, it's artificial reality. So what it has done is mapped the entire world. And so like Google Earth, combination of all this stuff, and when you pull out your phone, it's that same thing where you point it over here and you can see all it, except the camera's not on. That's all artificial intelligence that's showing that. And within there, you can all of a sudden see Pokemon. And if you go over there, you're going to catch Pokemon. Physically go catch them. Or if you're in Encinitas, apparently you can go off a cliff and actually catch Pokemon. I don't advise that, but that's the future. So that's artificial reality, and that's why there are kids running around looking at their phone, because they can see Pokemon over there, and they know if they run fast enough, they can catch it and then go find another character. So cool. I haven't tried it, but that's the possibility. What else is going to happen? So crazy. So what I want to leave you with is how can you embrace technology to evolve consciousness? Because where can we go with that? Where can we empower ourselves, and where can we empower each other and find that consciousness within the technology? Because it's still there. You have to find it. You have to be willing to accept it and receive it. Thank you. Yeah.